students of Reddit, has anyone in your online classes had a no-hit moment after realizing their mic or camera was still on? If so, what were they doing? One of my classmates was talking to someone off screen about how hitty the class is and how stupid our lecture is. Her mic and camera were both on. She was rambling for about 30 seconds when the lecturer just said her name. She just looked over at her screen, leaned forward a tad, then her eyes went wide and she covered her mouth. She immediately left the meeting. Haven't seen her in class since. This was 2 weeks ago. Not in my class. Someone was unmuted while they started talking hit about someone else in the class before the teacher muted them. In my class, someone's mom came in and started yelling in Spanish. It was awkward because at first the teacher thought they'd been trying to ask a question. So she said what and got quiet for a minute while everyone just listened.
Ma, por favor, no, mami.
No, te pido favor que me lavaran los trastos. No me lavaste los trastos, solo unos trastecitos y no me los puedes
Mom, please, I'm in the middle of class. Mom, relax, Mom.
Not to relax.
Mom, I'm 18. Mom, you can't do this. Mom, relax. Mom, relax, Mom.
During an all-school meeting, a teacher and his wife got in an argument and you could hear them yelling at each other. Our math teacher is terrifying, but doesn't really know how to work a computer. He was messing everything up and kept accidentally muting himself and stuff. Anyway, this girl in my class forgot to mute herself and basically spent a good 2 minutes dissing him with an impressive range of obscenities. At some point she realized that she was broadcasting her extremely low opinions of our teacher to the entire class. The teacher was very unhappy and the girl immediately left the class. Not exactly forgot the camera was on, but forgot their surroundings. Webcam starts up, and there's just a massive dildo on the bed beside where this person was sitting, back behind them. I've never felt so bad for an instance of poor forgetfulness. Oh, that's just my dog's chew toy. Not in school, but a few years ago during online training for my job, our managers agreed we could do the training at home, since it was all remote anyway, and so it was a nice week working from home. During one of the sessions we heard what sounded like porn. Then it got louder and louder. Finally the presenter says, "Okay, we see who is unmuted. I'm not going to name names, but let's be professional here." The poor guy couldn't look any of us in the eye after we returned to work. Well, one of the few times I did online school I thought my mic was muted until I fucking sneezed and the teacher got all pissy at me. You should have sneezed in between classes. My girlfriend told me a story of her taking an online Zoom Pilates class at the beginning of everything shutting down. The Zoom meeting was set up in presenter instead of gallery mode, so whoever is speaking is on the main screen. She said in one of the poses someone farted and their camera popped up on the screen for everyone until the next instruction. Super awkward. Edit. Wow, thank you everyone. I'm glad a flatulent story was the way I got my first awards. Hello, this is your friendly AI acknowledging your fart and putting you up on screen so the group can enjoy the rest of your contributions. Good luck trying to blame another person for this one. My kiddo's the student. His teacher had the kids doing show and tell today. My kiddo decides to use his older brother for his show and tell bit and yells for him without mentioning that he's in class with the webcam on and everything. So 20-year-old big brother comes trotting into camera view down the hallway, all shirtless and hairy, and I gather managed to embarrass himself and surprise all the kids too. I saw him go running back down the hallway to put on more clothes before properly saying hi to the kids. My 7th grade daughter turned on her Zoom meeting for her very first class on her first day of school, saw the face of the student who was currently talking, and yelled, "Not Victoria, I hate Victoria." I asked her if her mic was muted, and she looked at her screen horrified, slammed her laptop shut, and ran out of the room yelling, "I quit school." It was a rough first day. Just yesterday had a classmate that was dead asleep, like head bobbing, open mouth asleep. This went on for about 15 minutes before he woke up, noticed the camera was on, and quickly turned it off. It was too late. The professor had already made some remarks, and the lecture's recorded for later viewing. I thought I had muted myself, and I was just doing my work and singing "I'll Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan, because I had it stuck in my head. Then I looked at my computer and realized I wasn't muted and then quickly said, "Oh sorry, I accidentally unmuted myself." And the teacher said no worries and I could hear her laugh a little. I wanted to curl up and just lie in a hole. Lol. My church is still doing Zoom church. Apparently a guy didn't realize his wife was still in Zoom church when he stepped in view of the camera, totally naked. I only know this because he said so. So luckily I don't think anyone noticed. We also have a time at the end for people to unmute themselves if they want to say hi. Someone unmuted himself, apparently thought it didn't work, and yelled, "I don't know how to do this hit."
La parte de CISAC ya quedó, ya solamente tenemos que registrar autonomía curricular y el área socioemocional de los niños, porque esa parte está quedando bien.
We had a girl that had constant mic and video issues, and when her mic did work it was always out of sync and she would never respond on time to answer a question. The one time her mic was actually on and working, she was singing to herself in the background and she wasn't responding to the teacher calling her name, so we just muted her for the rest of the class. This happened last semester, right when Zoom class started to be a thing. I think it was actually like my third day of online class. My cat tried to jump off a desk and onto the bed, but there was a towel underneath him, so he slipped and fell. I then proceeded to scream, laugh at him, and within seconds, received a text message from a friend that my mic was on. My mate does IT for a private school, and they had issues with kids anonymously drawing dick pics in group Zoom meetings. He changed some settings without telling the students, and so the next time it happened the artists' names were displayed against their next creation. I had a fan sitting on my desk. I put my feet on my desk to sit comfortably. I accidentally kicked the fan off my desk. It fell on the floor with a loud bang. I was startled and cursed. Then I heard my teacher laughing and asking if everything was okay. I then realized I had my microphone and camera on, so they heard the bang and saw as well as heard me cursing. Good times. This spring in an online class we had group presentations. One group was doing really poorly. One of the members gets done talking, thought he muted himself, and turned off his camera, which he didn't. He turns around and yells, "Duck this stupid ass class," during his own group's presentation. As a class member, I was in awe of what just happened. In summary, he dropped the class a week later. Somebody was playing WAP in the background while they asked a question. Being old, I had to Google WAP. I was not prepared for those lyrics. My parents kept coming in to ask how it was going and what I was doing, and to keep looking at the screen, and kept trying to wave at everyone. I explained how our computer doesn't have a webcam and they can't see her. My mom says, "Oh, okay." She walks out. She walks back in about half an hour later. She walks over to me again and asks what we were doing. She sees some kid, and I don't know why, but she says, "Ew, what's wrong with that kid's face?" First off, none of the kids had any defects or anything. I guess she just thought they were ugly. I don't know. Don't even know who she was talking about. Everyone looked fine. I look up at her and say, "What the heck? Mom, what? I thought you said we didn't have a webcam." Me, "Yeah. They can't see you, but they can still hear you." Mom, "Oh." Then walked away. Still don't know who she was talking about, but yeah, now everyone knows I have an asshole mom. At the beginning of the semester I sent out an email with a joke about still having to wear pants for class over Zoom. It didn't occur to me that people may need to be reminded to wear shirts. And I really, truly, did not expect to have to send a notice to my students telling them not to smoke weed during class. Edit. For people complaining that it's their own house. It's illegal in this state. It's against school policy. And it's a recorded video everybody in the class has access to. All it takes is somebody passing it to the administration out of spite to cause problems. They need to not be acting stupid and at least turn the camera off for 30 seconds. Even if it is legal, it should still be common sense. I mean, you wouldn't be taking a fat bong rip during a work meeting, so why should this be any different?
That are in an environment of going to school all the time and then throwing you online. So other than that, your grades can definitely go up this quarter. If they go down, I wouldn't worry about it. And I can explain that to you too. Okay, so if you have a question, unmute yourself and shout away.
Yeah, Teach, this shit is Reggie, dude. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do, dude. This shit is garbage. What do I say to the plug?
A girl in my class decided to rip a gigantic colossal fart on mic, and the teacher had to mute everyone's mics to stop their laughing. One of my classmates was having sex while on a Zoom class. She had her mic on, and it wasn't that hard to guess, considering the moaning. It was very awkward, and as soon as everyone realized what was going on, the professor muted her. My professor had some scantily clad anime girls in his YouTube recommendations and tried to play it off as if he didn't notice it. I just got out of the class. This happened. My English professor thought she had her mic off when she said to her husband, who was in the same room, "These fucking kids are retarded. I hold no hope for the future." A guy was watching porn and he left his mic on, covered it up by coming in with another ID and telling us that the previous one was a fake ID with his name. I did. I was on a Zoom meeting on my phone and needed to take a dump, so I pooped and flushed. Then I hear my lecturer saying, "Your name, your mic is on. Do you have any questions?" And I freak the dick out and message my friends asking if they heard anything. It turns out that I accidentally put my mic on just after I flushed, so no one heard it, thankfully. I can't tell if it counts since it wasn't online, but in real life. But I was in grade 5 and the only reason I was half popular was because I did the morning announcements. I had to read a sheet a teacher sent in. Something about not ripping kids' artwork off the wall. Besides the point, obviously, but the sheet looked like it was written by my now 8-year-old brother. The grammar was horrible, and I could barely read a sentence, much less a full page. I finally finished it, very crudely, and I decided to say something along the lines of, "Holy crap, how in the hell could anyone read that?" What I didn't know was that the announcing mic was on and the entire school of 1,000 kids heard. Kindergarteners and all. Oops. I hate wearing pants, and therefore never wear pants at home. This includes when I'm home and have a seminar or lecture on Zoom. Not wearing pants isn't a problem on Zoom, unless you have to get up and go to the bathroom and forget to turn off the video. Well, now my classmates and my teacher at university have seen my naked ass while in class.
Goodbye. All right. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
See you guys.
Ripping my vape after I had given a presentation about the harmful effects of e-cigarettes in college campuses. The professor just went, "Well, at least you're not on campus," and I quickly turned off my camera in shame. Online meeting over, GoToMeeting. My boss had his dog near him and the dog began to whine. He does that when he is hungry, but this time he had just fed him. So my boss got annoyed. Somebody else in the meeting was talking. My boss hit the mute button on the phone and yelled at the dog, "Will you quit whining and shut up?" And the guy stopped talking. It was then we realized he was also on the computer's mic, so everybody heard it. Funny part is, the guy who was talking was a client of ours and was pointing out problems with the design we did, so that quit whining part hit home. A guy picked his nose and ate the booger, and the movement made him appear on the screen. It was me. I was in one of my college classes, and I thought my camera was aimed higher, so I was leaning forward, my elbows on the coffee table, where my laptop was. I also forgot I was wearing a sort of low-cut t-shirt that showed cleavage when I leaned over. Long story short, my boobs were on display for a solid 5 minutes before I realized I just sat up, lol. What so shit moment have you had during a video meeting where you forgot your mic or camera was off? Let us know in the comments below. And please be sure to like and subscribe for more.